you do not have to hate your ex to get divorced, and you do not have to hate your ex to get separated. I think what happens is a lot of times, obviously these situations are so emotional, and you get in these emotional situations and you don't know how to react because you never felt emotional situations to this magnitude, to sadness and anger and hurt and everything else. So you're questioning, everybody questions when they're in a marriage. No one goes to the altar and says I do and thinks, I can't wait to get divorced like this. I'm excited to marry this person because I want to get the hell out as soon as possible. Like, well, maybe I shouldn't say no one, but most people don't think that way, right? So what happens is you get in the situation where the writing's on the wall that the relationship's going to end, and you don't know how to deal with those emotions, yourself, and you're questioning yourself and you're wondering, am I making the right choice? Am I making the right move? And to convince yourself that in the affirmative of those questions, you start to learn to and teach yourself to hate that person, to completely hate everything that they do, everything about them, the person you spent, some of your life with, that you made kids with. You do that not only to convince yourself, but you also do it to convince your church, to convince your friends, to convince your family, your parents, whoever, that, I'm making the right decision because I hate this person, and here's why. Because here's all the long list of things that they did to me throughout the course of this relationship, right? Well, the problem with that is that there's two things, really. So hate, the feeling of hate is a negative energy that will, poison everyone, including the person that feels it, right? It's like, I think it was Gandhi that said that basically that resentment, hate and resentment, is basically like drinking poison and hoping that your enemy dies.
Yeah.
Right?
Mm-hmm.
So that's number one, that feeling of hate creates this negative energy inside of you that you might not understand it or not, but it's changing you as a person and it's changing your life, right? So that's number one, why you don't want to do it. And then number two, why you don't want to do it, is hate is actually an attractor. Like hate, even if you might think hate's a repellent, but hate's actually an attractor, and it's because you have to have so much attention on something to hate it. You have to be focused on something to hate it, right?
Right. We talked about love and hate being so similar.
Absolutely, yeah. It's just the opposite feeling. It does the same exact thing.
Mm-hmm.
If you walk down the sidewalk and someone walks past you that maybe they're a piece of crap person or just a horrible person, and you don't have that feeling of hate, your energy doesn't change at all. You're completely fine. You're walking past. You're not attracted to that person because you're not focused on that person or hating them or whatever. And that's the thing that I hope more people can see and understand with this whole divorce and custody process. And I learned that early on because I actually I started trying to talk myself into hating my ex, and I couldn't understand why I was feeling the way I was feeling. I don't really feel that way towards really anyone.
Mm-hmm.
And I was thinking why am I doing? And then I was like, oh shit, I'm actually kind of talking myself into this, right? And then I was thinking, oh well, I bet you everybody does this. And I'm not saying just because you're not supposed to hate them doesn't mean you need to like them or anything. It doesn't mean you need to love them or like them or appreciate them or anything. But good Lord, try your best to eliminate that hatred feeling, because the energy is going to really adversely impact your life, and it's going to keep you attached to that person. It's an attachment just like love is. So